Hey guys, Coach Jason. Hope you're doing well. So today I want to talk about. I just want to go into some detail about developing your athletes. Okay, particularly today I want to talk about training for 5K and 6K, whether it be a track club or something like that, or particularly high school. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down for high school, so freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior, and how to develop your athletes from workout to workout. So if they're training for a 5K, which is a little over 3 miles. You might have the juniors and seniors able to handle a little bit more work. So how do you start the younger kids, the less experienced kids, and and then how do you develop along the way so they can handle more work in a gradual way without a big setback or something like that. And what I mean by that is, your seniors might be able to do, let's just say 3 or 4 times a mile. Let's just say 5:30 per mile. The more experienced athletes, expecting freshmen to do that is in most cases unrealistic. You might have some be able to do it, boys and girls, or the slower times or faster times or whatever it is, but how do you get them to the point where they can build up to either the amount of running at goal pace that you're running, or even a little bit longer, a little bit of over distance. So I want to go over some workout sequences, and I'm going to use 800-meter repeats, 1,000-meter repeats, and then I have my other slide here, 1,200-meter repeats and mile repeats. And again, you could do this for high school. This could also be for people running on a track club, or even college women, and stuff like that if you happen to be a high school or college coach. My next video after this, I'm going to talk about doing the same type of workout progression but for 8 kilometers to 10 kilometers. So you'll see the difference between the two and how do you gradually build into the workouts. And these are repeatable workouts, so I have 3 options here. Let's just say they're 3 weeks apart or 4 weeks apart from each other. Okay, the things you obviously do in between is important, but you'll see the progression from one to the next, and I will explain. So watch the whole video so you don't miss any details, okay? By the way, this is your first time to the channel. Welcome to the channel. If you like stuff like this and you like fully detailed training programs, please subscribe to the channel. Not only take a look at the workouts that I have in the description, but the 100 plus that I already have in the channel as well. I think you'll find them very, very informative and very helpful. My videos are comprehensively detailed from beginning to end, and I explain everything from beginning to end, okay? And I speak from 20 plus years experience, not only as a former competitor at the high school, college, and post-college level, but as a coach of all 3 levels as well. I'm also a USATF certified coach and a Wharton certified musculoskeletal and flexibility therapist. So I'm here to help you get faster and keep you healthy while you do it. Okay, so let's go over these workout progressions. Okay, and by the way, for my regulars, who watch my videos, thank you so much for your support. And let me know if you haven't subscribed yet. But if you do subscribe, let me know in the comments down below so that I can thank you personally. I appreciate your support either way. Okay, so with that, let me stand up here, make sure I don't decapitate myself. Okay, so 800-meter workout. Okay, let's just say workout 1 is let's say week 3. Let's say this is week 6 and week 9 of the cross-country season, okay? So I have the freshmen basically doing 4 times in 800 meters, okay? Let's say you're training for 5K, so that's 2 miles worth of longer repeats, okay, with a 2-minute recovery. And then 4 by 100-meter strides afterward, or sprints afterward, to teach them how to turn over when they're fatigued. Because there will be a deceleration for those that are young and not as experienced. There will be a slowing down, okay? And the goal is to have them do less reps as the more experienced athletes, because ideally you want to develop the workouts so that they're progressively either staying even or getting faster throughout the workouts, okay? Last thing you want is to have, let's say, 4 times a mile repeats for your juniors and seniors, and then try a freshman to do that, and then it goes 5:30, 5:30, 6 minutes, 6:45. Those types of things can be discouraging, and it's also counterproductive, okay? So this is a way to build and progress, okay? And I'll go over that. So your freshmen are doing 4 times an 800 with a 2-minute recovery. Your sophomores, 5 times an 800-meter effort, okay, with a 2-minute recovery, and 5 by 100-meter strides afterward, okay, with a jog 100-meter, or jog equal recovery after the hundreds. Your juniors and your seniors are going to do 6 times an 800, okay, with the same recovery, 2 minutes, okay. This gives you an opportunity to start all the athletes together, and even some of the freshmen and some of the underclassmen might be able to hang with some of the varsity, and by doing less reps, this gives them an opportunity to kind of stay with some of the faster folks, because you'll also identify, or will be able to identify, who some of your faster freshmen might be doing by doing that. Or you can have some people do 600-meter reps. Okay, but I'm just keeping the reps consistent distance just so you can see the progression from one to the next. Okay, so juniors and seniors, again, 2-minute recovery. The juniors have 6 times 100 after their workout, okay, after the 800s with the jog equal recovery, and these seniors have 6 times 150 or 6 times 150 meters with a jog equal recovery, okay? Now, 3 weeks later, the freshmen are going from 4 times an 800 to 5 times an 800, adding one more rep, okay? Which is still under distance. That's only 4 kilometers worth of hard stuff. So I'm getting them to the point where they can do 3 miles, potentially more, okay? Then 5 times 100 meters afterward with the same 100-meter jog. And again, if you can either average the same as you averaged here with another rep, that's progress, or you can average slightly faster, that's progress, okay? Either way, you're showing improvement, okay? The sophomores are going from 5 to 6 800 meters, okay, with a 2-minute recovery, and then 5 by 100 meter strides afterward, or sprints afterward. Jog equal. Again, this teaches them turning over and accelerating to simulate the end of a race, okay? Trying to accelerate past people, okay? Or trying to prevent other people from accelerating past you, all right? The juniors and seniors go from 6 times an 800 to 7 times an 800, okay? Now we're going a little bit over distance. That's 5,600 meters worth of work. But again, if people can't handle that volume, then you can do less reps. You might have some people who can handle more, or who need to handle less. You can even have you might have some middle distance runners, your half milers, your milers, who might only be able to do 5 of them, or maybe up to 6 towards the end of the season. That's okay. Okay, it's just a progression. Okay, and this can be a good one for distance runners. So they go from 6 to 7, same 2-minute recovery. Okay, the 800-meter reps all have 2-minute recoveries. Okay, if you get to the point where you can give 90-second recovery, that's good. But I like to stick with the 2 minutes for now. Okay, and then both of them have 4 times a 200-meter afterward. Okay, so a little bit longer on the acceleration point. Okay, and the 200s might be at 3K down to mile pace with a 200-meter jog recovery in between. Okay, now 3 weeks later, workout number 3. The freshmen have gone from 4 to 5 to now 6 times an 800 with a 2-minute recovery. Okay, and let's say this is at goal 5K pace. Okay, or maybe a little bit faster, or progression, gradually faster throughout the workout. And then after that, they're going to do 6 times 100 meters. Okay, with a jog equal recovery. The sophomores, they're going to go from 5 to 6 to 7 800 meters, 7 by 800 meters with a 2-minute recovery, 6 by 100 meter strides on the back end as well, jog equal. And the juniors and seniors are going to go from 6 to 7 to 8 by 800 meters. Now this is the same thing as 4 times a mile, but for those folks who can't handle 4 times a mile, this is a way of breaking it down and giving you the same distance just with shorter reps. Okay, some folks might respond better to half-mile reps than they do mile reps, and that's okay. Okay, this just gives you options on how to decide who might be better off here, who might be better off there. Okay, same 2-minute recovery, and then they both do 4 times a 200-meter effort on the back end. Okay, with a jog equal recovery from 3K down to mile pace. Okay, so you see the progression. The distance gets longer, but the rep stays the same, or the workout stays the same, and then you're adding a little bit of acceleratory running on the back end. Okay, teach them turning over when they're fatigued. Okay, so those are 800-meter reps. Now let's go down to 1,000-meter reps. And keep in mind too, this, like I said, it's an opportunity. You might have a large group of people, okay? And then let's say you have a bunch of juniors and seniors, and then your freshmen, a couple of freshmen, a couple of sophomores. You can have the juniors and seniors go their first rep, and then add the sophomores in, and then after a rep after that, you add the freshmen in. So they're, instead of starting at the same time, they're finishing at the same time. Okay? Or you could do it the other way around, where they're all starting at the same time, and then the freshmen and the sophomores kind of get off, and the juniors get off, and then the seniors are there together at the end. So it's completely up to you how you want to design your workout. But either way, it's just a good option and a good opportunity to get them running together. Okay. But of course, there are situations where there are going to be specific training groups where people have to separate, particularly for ones that are really, really fast and something like that. And that's where training at the appropriate pace ranges is important. The last thing you want is athletes hanging on for dear life to trying to hang with these folks, because they're not going to recover the same way, even if they're able to do the same workout. Okay. And that's where, look in the description down below. Make sure you watch my video on 1 mile time trial, which helps establish everybody's fitness and their training paces, and then the video on how to actually set the training paces for runs and workouts based on what everybody runs for the 1 mile time trial. It makes designing workouts like this a lot easier. Okay, I've done all the homework for you in those videos so that you don't have to do it. Okay, so be sure to watch those videos and watch them from beginning to end. Don't stop, write things down, because you're going to miss out on important details. Okay, please do that. I promise you. You'll understand a heck of a lot better when you watch the whole video. Okay. Now, 1,000-meter repeats. Okay. I have the freshmen doing 3 times 1,000 with the same 2-minute recovery, okay? And then 3 times 300 meters on the back end. Now, remember, this is, if they're a little bit more fit. So ideally, I only start freshmen at 800 meters, 800 meter reps. But this could also be college women, okay, or a little bit older, a little bit more experienced. So it's a way of doing it that way as well. Or if you have freshmen that have some experience coming into high school, have run a little bit, then you can start them at longer reps. It really depends on what you feel is most appropriate for your athletes, okay? Or you can progress from that to that, okay? And this can even be after post cross country training towards indoor season. Whatever you think is best for your athletes, okay? So 3 times a 1,000 with a 2-minute recovery, and then 3 times 300 meter on the back end from 3K pace down to mile pace with a 1-minute recovery, or a 100-meter jog if you're on a track, so that you can just continue to do a lap and a lap and a lap, okay? Sophomores do 4 times 1,000, same 2-minute recovery, and then 2 by 500 meters, which is another 1,000-meter effort. So the total running is 5,000 meters. Here, the total running is just under 4,000 meters, okay? And then your juniors and your seniors both run 5 times 1,000 with the same 2-minute recovery, but the juniors run 5 times 200, adds up to 6 times 1,000. And your seniors run 5 times 1,000, then they do 4 times a 300-meter effort on the back end. Both of them have 1-minute recoveries. This adds up to about 6,200 meters of running. But the more experienced athletes will run a little bit longer on the back end than the juniors. But again, you do what you might have some juniors who need some 300s and seniors who need some 200s. Totally fine. Okay. Now, workout number 2, a couple weeks after that, and I would encourage you to do it no less than 3 weeks in between the workouts. So like week 1, week 4, week 7, or something like that. It's a repeatable workout. Okay. The freshmen go from 3 to 4 times 1,000. Okay, and then they do 2 times a 500 meter on the back end with a 100-meter jog, which is a total of 5,000 meters of running, okay? The sophomores just do 5 times 1,000, okay? So you see the freshmen breaking it up into pieces, the sophomores handling the entire 1,000 meter effort. The juniors do 5 times 1,000 and then 2 by 500 meters on the back end, which is a total of 6K running, but in pieces. And then the seniors do the whole entire 6K workout, 6 times 1,000 meters. And all the 1,000-meter efforts have 2-minute recoveries, okay? So you see the progression, okay? And now workout number 3, the freshmen go from 3 times a K to 4 times a K to 5 times a K, okay? With the same 2-minute recovery. Your sophomores do the 5 times 1,000 meters, and then with 2-minute recovery, and then the back end 5 by 200 meters, okay, with a jog equal recovery. So we've added a little bit. So now they're at 6K of volume, but instead of doing 6 times 1,000, they're doing 5 and then breaking that last K up into pieces, okay? That's a way of progressing them, okay? And then the juniors, the entire 6 times 1,000 meter effort, okay, with a 2-minute recovery, which is what the seniors did several weeks prior, okay? And then the seniors, the same 6 times 1,000 meters, and then on the back end, 5 by 200 meter efforts with a jog equal recovery. So their total is about 7,000 meters worth of running. So that's significant over distance, but again, you can do it in such a way so that they're running it in pieces as well, or that last 1,000-meter effort in pieces. Okay, over distance is good if you complement them with other things that are under distance, shorter and faster and stuff. Not every workout has to be long, even if they're training for the 5K or 6K. Okay, there's an important balance between the two. Okay, it's very important to incorporate those. The more you do a multi-pace training system, the better you're setting yourself and your athletes up for long-term success. Okay, so those are the 1,000-meter repeats. Now I'm going to take this down, and I'm going to get to the longer stuff. Okay, your 1,200-meter efforts and your 1,600-meter efforts, or your mile repeats. Okay, so 1,200-meter efforts. Freshmen, the first workout, 3 times 1,200 meters. Okay, with a 2-minute and 30-second recovery. Added 30 seconds, and then on the back end, 4 times a 300. Okay, a 3K down to mile pace if they can, or just 3K pace with a 1-minute recovery. So it's a total of 4 times a 1,200 just broken up. So 3 miles of running. Okay. Then the sophomores do that 4 times a 1,200 consecutively. Okay, with a 2-minute and 30-second recovery. They should be able to complete those 4 reps. Okay, at this point. Juniors, 4 times 1,200, 230 recovery, and then 4 times a 300 on the back end. So it's similar to the freshman workout, just with another rep on the 1,200-meter end. Okay, and the 300 should be down from 3K down to mile pace, 1-minute recovery. And then seniors are be doing 5 times 1,200 meters, consecutively, okay, with a 2:30 recovery. And the same applies here. You can start them all together. You can finish them all together. Depends on what you feel is most appropriate, okay? Now, workout 2. The freshmen go from 3 times 1200 with acceleratory work to 4 times 1200. So we added this all up, combined it into 4 times 1200, okay? Same 2-minute, 30-second recovery. You should be able to do that now. Sophomores, we added something on the back end. 4 times 1200 with a 2:30 recovery, and then 2 times 600 meter efforts with a 1-minute recovery. And let's say from 5K down to 3K pace, okay? Which is a total of 5 times 1200, which is what the juniors are going to do. 5 times 1200 meter efforts with a 2:30 recovery, okay? Just not broken up into pieces. And then the seniors are going to do that same 5 times 1200, 2:30 recovery, but we're going to add 2 by 600 on the back end, which totals 6 times the 1200, okay? 7,200 meters worth of running, so it's 4.5 miles worth of training, okay? And again, you can break this up a lot of ways, okay? You can even do 10 times the 600, 12 times the 600, okay? So it depends on what's most appropriate for your athletes, what they need, okay? And that's where not only taking splits, monitoring, chronicling workouts, but taking splits in races too, so you can see who slows down from beginning to end, who stays even, who gets faster. It helps you modify workouts, okay? Particularly if you run a course multiple times in a cross country, okay? Even on the track as well. Okay, it's important to take splits. Okay, now, so the seniors do 5 times 1200 and 2 by 600 on the back end, 5K down to 3K pace, or both of them at 3K pace at this point, okay? And then workout number 3, the freshmen go from 3 to 4 to 4 times 1200, and then we're adding 4 times 200 meter efforts on the back end, which gives them 5,600 meters of total running, okay? 200 meter jog on the back end for those, 3K down to mile pace, okay? The sophomores will go from 4 times 1200 to 5 times 1200 broken up into pieces to 5 consecutive 1200s, okay? Same 2:30 recovery. Juniors go from 4 times 1200 or 5 times 1200 in pieces to 5 times 1200 consecutively to 5 times 1200 2:30 recovery, and then on the back end adding 2 by 600 meter efforts with a 1-minute recovery at 3K pace or 5K down to 3K pace, okay? Which is a total of 6 times 1200, okay? And the seniors are going from 5 consecutive 1200s to 5 by 1200 with the 200s, with the 600s in the back ends, which is 6 times 1200 in pieces, to 6 times 1200 combined or consecutively with a 2:30 recovery. Okay, you see the progression from workout 1 to workout 2 to workout 3. Okay, and you'll see some people doing, what they do in workout 3 here. Some other people are doing it in workout 2 or whatever it is, for the most part. So you'll see how, juniors can eventually catch up with seniors, freshmen can eventually catch up with sophomores, and so on. But like I said before, you might have a freshman who can hang with the seniors. I just caution you to not, if they can do that for some or all of the workout and recover properly, I would still encourage you to keep them at a freshman training volume, okay? Or if you have a junior that's coming in and hasn't run before, who hasn't run the first 2 years, I would encourage you to not give them a junior training volume. Give them a freshman training volume and then build them up gradually, okay? It's things like that that help put your athletes in a position to progress without getting sick or injured or both, okay? Now, last but not least, mile repeats or 1,600 meter repeats. Freshmen, 2 times at 1,600, let's just say 2 times a mile. 3-minute recovery, okay? At your current pace or your current to goal pace or depending on what they can handle. And then on the back end, 4 times at 400 meters with a minute recovery from 5K down to 3K pace, okay? Total of 3 miles of running. Sophomores, also 2 times a mile with a 3-minute recovery. Some might be able to do 3 consecutive, that's fine. But on the back end, I have them doing 2 times 800 meter efforts instead of 4 by 400, okay? Which gives them the same 3-mile total. But they have 90 seconds after their half-mile repeats and obviously 3 minutes after the mile repeats. Everything here is 3 minutes after the mile repeats, okay? Juniors, 3 times a mile consecutively, okay? Seniors, the same 3 times a mile with a 3-minute recovery, and on the back end, 2 times 800 meter efforts with a 90-second recovery, 5K down to 3K pace, or both in their 3K pace if possible, 90-second recovery, which totals 4 miles, okay? Now, workout number 2. Freshmen are combining this all and going 3 times a mile consecutively with a 3-minute recovery. Okay, the sophomores are going from 2 times a mile with that on the back end to 3 times a mile with 3 times 200 on the back end. So a little bit more than 3 miles now. Okay, with a jog equal recovery after the 200 meters. Okay, juniors are going from 3 times a mile consecutive to 3 times a mile consecutive, and then adding 4 times of 400 on the back end. Okay, giving them 4 miles total, same 1-minute recovery. Those 400 should be at about 3K to 3K pace or 3K down to mile pace, if possible. And then the seniors are combining this all and doing 4 times a mile with a 3-minute recovery. If you could progress from current to goal pace, that's really, really good. If you can get to the point where you're doing those workouts all at goal pace, then you know you're fit. Okay, you know you're fit, particularly the longer reps. All right. Now, workout 3. Freshmen are progressing from broken 3 miles to total 3 miles to 3 times a mile with a 3-minute recovery, and then in the back end we're adding 4 times a 200-meter effort with the jog equal recovery or jog 200 meters on the back end. So it teaches them also how to turn over after doing long reps. Not only shorter reps, but the long reps, because the leg's going to be a little bit more fatigued with these longer reps. You still need to be able to turn over at the end, which simulates the end of a race. Okay. Sophomores are progressing from 3 miles broken into pieces to 3 miles and some 200 meters to 3 times a mile with a 3-minute recovery, and then 4 times of 400 on the back end at 3K down to mile pace with a 1-minute recovery in between. So 4 miles of total running. Okay. They're not doing 4 miles of total running until they get to this point. Okay. That's kind of how I progress them. Okay. Juniors, they're going from 3 times a mile to 4 broken miles, okay, or 4 miles in pieces to 4 times a mile, okay, with a 3-minute recovery. Seniors, from 4 miles in pieces to 4 miles consecutively, okay. So you see how they're ahead of the juniors here. Their workout 2 is juniors workout 3, to 4 times a mile, and then on the back end 4 times a 300-meter effort with a 100-meter jog. And let's say 3K down to mile pace. Or if you can get to the point where you're doing them all at mile pace, you're fit. Okay, and at this point, they should be able to do 300s instead of 100s or 200s as they get older and more experienced. And again, this could be women's cross country as well. So it really depends on what you're training for. But these are all good progressions for 5K and 6K races. Okay, and I encourage you to build them into a 10 or 12 or 14 or 16 week season so that you can see and lay out the progression, and then you can build the training in between the workouts, okay? And take a look at some of my training programs. I'll put a couple down below. You'll see how I kind of progress from week to week to week to week, okay? And how we do that, all right? And I'm a firm believer in periodization, which is why I break it up into pieces, give your athletes time to adapt before trying this workout, and then adapt again before trying the following workout. You want to let time trials or races tell you whether you're ready to start doing a harder workout or increase training volume. Okay? You don't want to increase volume and intensity at the same time, one or the other. Okay, so with that, here's the workout progression today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up, particularly if you don't plan on subscribing. The thumbs up is just as helpful, but please subscribe to the channel if you enjoy stuff like this. It's really, really helpful, and I want to make this to one of the best running channels out there. I want to keep the content good. I want to keep the growth organic. Okay, and if there's something that I haven't put out yet and you want me to put it out, put them in the comments down below, and I will be sure to make a video based on what your request is. So, thank you for watching. Be safe, train smart. Talk to you next time.